Hey guys! So I think I've mentioned a couple times that I'm a writer and I write about my real life. And for the last few years, dating has made up some of my more interesting moments. In fact, one of the two books I'm currently working on is a compilation of my favorite dating tales. So today I thought I would give you a glimpse into what dating in your mid-30s in Los Angeles looks like. So you have to understand, everybody in LA has written a screenplay. Everybody's a screenwriter or an actor or a producer. What do producers do? What do they produce? Anyhow, so one night I was at dinner with this guy and we were just, getting to know each other, and I asked him what he did and he said he was a screenwriter. Oh, that's great. No, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Have you ever, And he's like, yeah, in fact, one of my screenplays is actually being filmed right now. I said, oh, that's so cool. Is it a short? And he's like, no, it's feature length. And I said, oh, that's really neat. I said, now, what kind of actors do you get? Do you get actors from like the UCLA and USC film schools? He said, no, they're professional actors in this movie. I said, oh, that's cool. I said, anyone that I might, have seen on a commercial or something, And he said, yeah, Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, Selma Hayek. Turns out he had written The Hitman's Bodyguard. Yep. We went out a few more times, and then he ghosted me. Can't say I blame him. So I had been out with this one guy, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times when I decided to have him over for dinner. It was maybe the 4th or 5th night of Hanukkah, and my roommate was gonna be here. It was just gonna be a fun, casual evening. So midway through, I got up to go to the bathroom, and I go in, shut the door, and I turn on the water because that's what I thought ladies were supposed to do. Although my friend Sam just informed me that we don't need to do that because apparently men know that we pee. When did this happen? Who told? So I'm sitting there, doing my thing, and my date opens the door and walks in and says, I really wish you would not shut the door. I hate these emotional barriers you keep putting up between us. Could you hand me the toilet paper and then leave? And would you shut that emotional barrier behind you? So there was one summer a couple years ago where I just had this streak of dating guys who didn't have jobs. But I kept finding out that they didn't have jobs in really uncomfortable and awkward ways. So one evening I was out with a guy and I was kind of telling him about this, and he said, oh, well, you don't need to worry. I'm gainfully employed. I said, phew, that's good to know. And he said, but I do have something to tell you. And he said, I did spend about a year in prison a few years back. And I said, oh. And he said, but don't worry, it was white-collar prison. And I said, oh. And he said, didn't you notice my vanity license plate? And I said, no. And he said, it reads out evil villain. And I said, but you drive a red Prius. So then he looks at me and he says, well, what would you rather have? A guy who has a job but happened to have spent some time in prison? Or a guy who, doesn't have a prison record but doesn't have a job? I'm sorry, are those my only 2 options? I just want to preface this last one by saying I am in no way poking fun at this guy. In fact, this last story was just really awkward, really uncomfortable, and kind of heartbreaking for both of us. So with that said, here's the last story, at least for now. The rest you'll have to read in the book. So I dated this guy for about 7 or 8 months, and he was gorgeous. I mean gorgeous. He was like 7 years younger than me, and he legitimately paid his way through college modeling underwear. And to make matters even better, he was sweet and funny, and we had a really good time together. But because of the age gap and just being in really different places in our lives, we kept the relationship really casual. Just no pressure, just fun times. So at like the 7 or 8 month mark, he ended up getting a job that relocated him to San Francisco. So we parted ways. I mean, no hard feelings. We'd had a wonderful time. It was fine. So fast forward 9 months. That's important. 9 months, like 1 to 2 months longer than our actual relationship. All right. He, out of the blue, texts me. We had not spoken since he moved. So he texts me to let me know he's going to be in town for Thanksgiving, visiting family, and that he wanted to see me. And I was like, yeah, that'd be really fun. So the Friday after Thanksgiving, he picks me up and takes me to this really nice steakhouse in Beverly Hills. And we're just sitting there, catching up, enjoying being around each other again, just having a nice time. When his side of the conversation starts to steer more emotional kind of feelings, kind of missing me, thinking about me a lot. I was fine with it. He was sweet. I had nothing but good feelings about him. However, as he continues, I realize that he is standing up from his chair and he's walking around to my side of the table. And then I realize he's down on one knee with a ring box. Mind you, had not spoken in 9 months. And even over the course of our relationship, we had kept it really casual. And I'm just looking down like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And as I'm trying with all my might to get him up off of his one knee, I realize that every pair of eyes in the restaurant is glued on us. Hands poised with spoons to do the clanging on the glasses, people ready to celebrate, send champagne over. I don't know. However, I am not gleefully saying yes, as they so obviously anticipate. So I get him up, and it's a heartbreaking scene. I did not flat out say no, but And looking back, all I can think is, all these people in this restaurant are probably sitting there thinking, Bish, you are in your mid-30s. Like, you are not a fine wine. You are not getting better with age. And this gorgeous man is down on one knee. You really think you can do better than that? Please comment below with your craziest, funniest, most traumatic dating stories. I would absolutely love to hear them. And in the meantime, please like and subscribe.